Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and yes, we are back with a brand new video. We're back in black, which means one thing and one thing only. It's been another Rangers game under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. Another depressing, painful game to watch that not only am I wearing black today, I'm actually low-key dressed like a darts player right now. And that's simply because I want to stand next to a dartboard and hope somebody throws one and it catches me right in the dish. Because I'm sick to death of watching this type of effort, and effort's the key word for me, because I can't sit here and say result, because this Napoli side is simply incredible. And if anyone watched yesterday's preview video, I talked about the records they were chasing and how fantastic they are playing. They have now just set an all-time Napoli record for winning 12 consecutive matches. They were previously tied with a Napoli side that had a guy called Maradona doing things. Maybe you have heard of him. He's arguably the greatest player to ever pull on a pair bits. They went ahead and broke that side's record. This is the level of talent that we were playing against. So I'm not going to be sitting here throwing my toys at the pram because we got beat off this incredible Napoli side who's unbeaten and again breaking all records. That's no where I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated about the tactics, I'm frustrated about the defeatist attitude, and I'm frustrated about the lack of work rate again, where for me, we played a truly incredible side this afternoon, and not only were we beat to the scoreline of 3-0, we were also ran off the park, out hurried and out pressured for that team that was pretty much already qualified and already won the game. That's where my problems start to spiral, and that's where the frustrations start to bubble, because you can get beat, people. You can't get outworked every single game you are played, or there's something needing to be done, and I'm just feeling the exact same way. I never took none. There was no moral victory. There wasn't, oh, we looked good here. I never saw the players fighting for the manager. Nobody will convince me that was the type of performance that shows these players in there, because again, it was the kind of gone through the motions, sort of seeing our way through the game, let's just get it and done with, that we've seen not only in terms of Champions League football, but we've almost seen over the last couple of domestic games as well. And there's just mere blinking lights that there is problems at this football club, and a game that was almost a free hit. I'm feeling even worse now about the side, and again, that's not because of the result, but it's just down to the performance and work rate, where again for me it wasn't good enough. And maybe I think back and I look at this game now, because I went in expecting a loss. I don't know how you felt, and I'm the most annoyingly optimistic human being on this planet when it comes to Rangers. I will back us pretty much against anyone, but I've just been driven and down and down and down, that even in yesterday's preview video, after a few jokes, I says I don't see us winning this game. And it's that defeatist attitude that's now seeped into the fans, that I truly believe has been seeped into these players at this level after the first loss versus Ajax, the first team sheet versus Ajax, where Gio came out after the game and says we can't compete at this level. From that moment, I know it's just a wee silly moment, and maybe I'm completely wrong here, I've just looked at how we've played, and apart from a short period versus Napoli in the game at Ibrox, which was our first home game, Champions League, a lot of emotions, apart from that game, not once has it ever looked like we believed we could do anything at that level. And again, that's what I'm talking about. The defeatist attitude is not only in the fans gone into this, but for me, the players. And I will all sit down and break down the game and everything like, because there is some good goals to talk about from Napoli and stuff like that, but there is some frustrations in that as well. And I want to talk about a couple of them very, very briefly. I'm not going to take up all your night, because I know you will have work, college, uni, whatever you've got to do tomorrow, so you don't want to sit here and look at this for a long time. But there is a couple of things that I want to break down, because there's such a glaring common theme that is driving me mental, and I just want to voice it just to see how you feel. You can tell me I'm wrong if you want and say I'm completely off base, but for me, I continually watch Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and this Rangers team pick players that used to play well over players that are playing well, and I just sit back and I look at it every single time like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. And I'm going to say something controversial here, and I'll probably get shouted at for you, but how on earth is Alfredo Morelos starting this game over Cholak? And again, I'm not just pointing blame at Morelos or anything like that. I know he's a good player, we all love him and everything like that, but you are looking at this Morelos. We need to stop thinking of the previous Morelos. This Morelos was subbed off early versus fourth in the Championship Dundee at home versus Ibrox because he couldn't get involved in the game. I just want to track back and get to the decision making that sees that performance versus Dundee and says, you know what? That performance there deserves to start away to Napoli over a boy that just can't stop scoring and has actually injected a freshness into this team that we have badly needed. And where would we be if we had an Antonio Cholak? And again, that's not just the only one for me. And obviously there is that miss from Morelos, which comes hand in hand when you play a Morelos. And we will obviously speak about that later on in the video. But it's not only that. I mean, Fashion Sakala, yes, he frustrates the life out of us several times when he's got that ball at his feet. But do you know what you get for Sakala? Work rate. And I know that may be an underrated start on something you should assume that you get from every player, but we're no getting it from every player. We are not getting every player that runs as hard and works as hard as him, people. And for me, I'm sitting watching these games and I'm watching guys get selected over Sakala, continually fail, get subbed off twice in a game. How many times have you seen Scott Wright subbed off in a high profile game at half time because he's not involved? Answers on a postcard, people, because it's been several times now. What has Scott Wright done to justify himself starting over Sakala recently in terms of how they're played? Who's the one that's got a man of the match recently? Who's the one that's got a goal and an assist recently in the league? It's Sakala, and it's decisions like this that I look at and I think of, and I just think it's a perfect summary of what's gone wrong right now. We continually pick players that used to play well over players that are actually playing well, and it's no surprise to me that we are being so bad. I mean, Ryan Kidd's not kicked the ball now for weeks, people, but he's continually one of the first names that's selected for these high profile games. And Sakala's sitting there on the bench, and again, I'm not saying that Sakala's the greatest player on NFL or even as good as a Ryan Kidd on his day, but I just think we're almost sending the wrong message out, people, because imagine you're a Sakala, imagine you're a Cholak or whatever, and you're playing well and you're doing well, you're scoring, you're assisting, you're picking up man of the matches and everything, and then every time a big game comes around, you're bombed to the bench for boys that's not kicked the ball. That must be really, really demotivating, and maybe start getting disillusioned about that. But I just wanted to voice my opinion on that, because it's not just them two, it spreads throughout the entire squad. You can look at it there as boys that's getting picked on reputation rather than what they've done lately, and that's a major problem, and one of the major reasons why I think this Rangers team continues to stutter. We're picking the players that are currently stuttering. But again, I might be talking absolute nonsense, but I just wanted to voice my opinion on that, because again, I'm in that strange place that I can't be too harsh on the players and everything like because of losing to this fantastic Napoli side. But I think, honestly, I believe as a fan that watches every single second of this team kick a football, we at least deserve to see effort and work rate and drive, and a team that believes they can do something. And we're just getting teams that's ghosting through these games, and that should never ever be the case. There's a lot of people that spends a lot of money on this club, people, and they're not getting their money worth right now, and that's really frustrating and very disappointing to me. So let's go ahead and speak more about this game, because there will be more talking points, more players that need to be spoken about as we get through the game recap. So let's go ahead and combine it then, shall we? Because the start was pretty much what we were all dreading, wasn't it? It was Apollo Creed's wife sitting watching Apollo get battered off Ivan Drago. That's what the opening 15 minutes of this game was, people, because every single time Napoli went forward, they looked like scoring. Simeone had an early header, which was the first warning sign, and it used to be something that we'd adjust and learn to, and then maybe change it or tweak it or anything like that. But we don't change or tweak, or there's no wee things or stuff like that that's done during games anymore. We have one set way of playing, and that is it, people. And I know we've got injuries and everything like that, but we played ourselves into that corner. Connor Goldson is the only surprise, right? That is one that's, oh my god, the Iron Man is injured. But everyone else, a suitor. We knew the Hollander situation, and we let boys like Balogun, who was begging in the stands at Rangers, watching us play at the start of the season, begging to get into this team. And that, again, we let all them go. So I've not really got too much sympathy for that, because it was our own decision making that put us into this spot. So we can't continue to use it as a victim card and say, well, we've got injuries. Well, we were well prepared. We knew about several first team players, and we let others leave that shouldn't have left the football club. But we're all out of place at the back, as you can imagine. Young Leon King getting twisted and turned and everything like that. It's not nice to say, but again, he's not ready. People, he's no ready, and all the people said I'd rather much him getting the game time over Balogun, who's always injured. Well, it's Leon King's third time in a row where he's been subbed off early with a knock or a sickness, people. So it's not really gelling for me, all these types of things. But again, I do feel bad for the young laddie, because I didn't think he should be playing at this level. I don't think he should be facing this level of opposition right now. And again, it shows that that's a confidence breaker because they went after him. Simeone, if you watch his position in the opening 10 minutes, peeling away for Davis, cutting into Young King, peeling away for Davis, getting into Young King, and eventually played its part as one of the few times that Simeone cut away from Young King and put back to Davis. He caught him cold as the ball's out wide. We don't do enough to put pressure on the ball. It's a lovely ball in behind from the Napoli right back. I do apologise, I'm forgetting his name for a brief moment. It's a great ball in behind. Davis is beat far too easily. Not good enough from him, by the way, but if you look at his body work so far, he's been fantastic for his football club. So he was just beat here sometimes. It happens. Simeone's first touch is great. His second touch is even better as it's bullied into the back of net before McGregor can get one of his paws up, and you're thinking, oh no, that is the worst thing that could have happened, because now the floodgates have been opening in Europe, and that's what happened just 5 minutes after, where it's even worse defending down the right hand side of Rangers. Scott Wright doesn't do well enough, and when you select a Scott Wright, you're wanting pace because you're not playing the entire 90 minutes. So I want you running back and forth, but I'll never want to see you like this or see you like this. I didn't want to see you standing still, Scott Wright, when you're selected for the level of this game that arguably you shouldn't be getting flung into. But he's too slow to get out to stop the cross. That's the second time in a big European game that he's not got wide and stopped the cross. The cross ends up coming in. Wee King just gets beat here, loses the flight of the ball. He doesn't ken there's anybody behind him, and Simeone again brilliantly ghosts in between the centre halves and puts it away. And then it's 2-0 to Napoli, and you're starting to feel like I've seen this story before. I've seen spoilers in terms of this is going to be another scudding at this level, and it nearly was, because less than 3 minutes after taking a 2-0 lead, Napoli rocket the bar with one of the best hit shots I've ever seen. People, great work again from Simeone. He absolutely kills young Yilmaz here. I want to talk about Yilmaz again in the next minute or two of the video, because there's a lot of strong opinions about the young laddie, but he gets murdered here, just gets absolutely flung on the deck, and Simeone cuts away from him, passes it to Ndombele, and Ndombele does what he's always done, gets a shot, rips out one, and it's a beautiful knuckle shot that McGregor thinks is in the back of it. You can tell by the face, he thinks he's beat here, then he looks at his shoulder, hears the bar getting rattled, and you can see the relief on his face. So we well and truly got away with that, or it could have been 3-0 after 16-17 minutes of the game, and it was as bad as I'm making it sound. We couldn't do nothing. Yilmaz spent more time on the ground in the opening 15 minutes than he did on his feet, and that's not because he was diving a bit recklessly, he was just getting turned there and then. But I do want to talk about Yilmaz very, very briefly, because I've seen Barisic have that type of opening 15 minutes. We all know when it doesn't start well for Barisic, what happens in the game. Let me know in the comments. I'll not even say it. If Barisic starts the game as bad and gets beat a couple of times like early in the game, how does the rest of the game go for Barisic? Does he bounce back? I'll give you a couple of seconds today. No, it doesn't. But what I will say about that young lad, Radevan, is he did well and truly bounce back, because despite a rough 16-17 minutes into this game, I thought he grew on, almost grew up into the game, bounced back, got stuck in and battled his way to being the best player for Rangers this evening. Now again, it's not a great inspiring list, and it wasn't maybe a difficult job to do, but considering how he started to where he finished, to not only perform well, stop some crosses coming into the box. That's weird seeing a fullback stop a cross now and again, but get forward and put a couple of dangerous bottles into the mixer and create the clearest, biggest chance you will ever get in the Champions League, and somehow we've no scored it. Well, I say somehow, it's because our best finisher's sitting on the bench and we're playing someone who isn't playing well. Circling back to previous point, but we'll get there in a minute or two. This is about Radevan. I know he's getting slaughtered online, but for me, I saw enough for the young laddie. Well and truly bounced back from a rough start, and hopefully he can maybe take that now, build on and see where he can go, because he's certainly good going forward with the fit ball. If he tidies up that opening 15 minutes, he could be a very, very encouraging player for Rangers. So that's my thoughts on the wee man. Arguably our best player on the day. In fact, I would say he was our best player of the day. Again, I'm not saying he was fantastic or an 8 or a 9 out of 10, but compared to the rest, they should be embarrassed that a young laddie who's barely kicked the ball for us has came into this level of a game, outran them and outworked them. So that's my opinion on that, people. And as I'm kind of speaking about Radevan, it kind of gives us a little bit of a period where the game started to slow down, because Napoli must have thought to themselves, the game's done. Like, there will be several different ways to look at this. There will be people saying, but look how well we've done at this point of the game. We stopped them for scoring for so long. We created a couple of opportunities. And I get that if you want to look at it that way. But if we're being real, I think Napoli took the foot off the gas. And that's how I feel. And that gave us the opportunity to start getting little pockets of space. Tillman, couple nice little things with his feet. Radevan again getting wide, whipping a ball into Morelos. Falls to big Tillman. Tillman cuts inside, has a shot blocked. It was nice. Bits of movement, but again, Napoli, just every now and again, just got the ball forward, created a clear opportunity and nearly scored. Just to remind Rangers that if you poke the bear will come after you. And we started to do that, and we had a magical moment just before half-time with the perfect time to score, if you want to use old football terminology. It's a good little ball in from Scott Wright to Alfredo Morelos. He's got a guy maybe half a yard away from him and all that. Should be able to power forward with the ball and get a shot on target and everything like that. And he does get forward, and then he hits a really poor, tame shot that's deflected and easily saved by the goalkeeper. It was a 1v1 chance, but I knew Morelos wasn't scoring that chance. He's never, even when he was at his best, he didn't score 1v1s, people. So it was frustration, but at least we showed a wee bit of sign. And we went into half-time knowing our place, that we're getting battered here. But there is a couple wee occasions, and if we take the next chance, then maybe, just maybe, we can do something. And the chance well and truly came in the second half. And the second half started, by the way, with an early substitution of Scott Wright coming off for Fashion Sakala. And guess what? Sakala added some work rate, drive, effort down the right hand side. Again, no perfect, but work rate, drive and effort that wasn't there previously. And we started to get little spells on the ball again. If the occasional little sting, like Simeone went close to the near post, which was a good save by Al McGregor. But then the moment came, people, they missed their first chance in the second half. We then had our chance to get ourselves back in the game. And it's wonderful work here from Ryan Kent, who again didn't have his best afternoon, but he combines very well with Radevan here. Gives it to him. Radevan puts a ball on a platter, people. Honestly, it's sitting on a plate just for any touch. Just touch it, any touch, and it's in the back of net, and it's 2-1 here. This is as clear as it gets in the highest club competition you can play. You can't ask for anything more blatant than this. But Morelos doesn't get near it, doesn't get the touch on it, misjudges the ball that comes in, and you're just sitting back thinking, why is the best finisher at this football club not on the park when we will get one or two chances in this game? Morelos has had these two, and he's blew the two in the second one. Was just straight up awful. We should have made this 2-1, and that Radevan, who is getting roasted online, should have an assist to his name, because the ball in was gorgeous. Morelos' finish was anything but. And it really was a double-edged sword, people, because that was their chance, and then the Napoli manager went, alright, okay, Rangers have just had their chance, so that could have changed the entire game. Let me make a couple substitutions, let me put the foot back down on the gas, and let's put this game to bed. And that's what Napoli tried to do. Just several minutes after your golden opportunity, they started to heat up a little bit more, and it was actually very, very good defending for Big Ben Davies at the back, as it looks like they're going to have a simple tap in at the back post. He actually gets in there, cuts out very well, and we'll survive that attack. But again, they had heated up the gas now, and they were starting to come forward. And after Leon King gets substituted off again, as he looks to have picked up another knock, fingers crossed it's nothing too serious, but Barisic is then playing left centre back. We've put ourselves in a position that our left back that can't defend is playing left centre back in the Champions League away to the most informed team in Europe. If you didn't say that this club has failed at every level, just based on that simple fact, then I don't know what else to tell you. The recruitment is a disgrace, people. The fact that we are playing our left back that can't defend as a left centre back, it's genuinely embarrassing. And they should be embarrassed for the people that make these decisions. And Gio saying he was happy with the squad should be embarrassed as well, people. But anyway, moving on. To be fair to Barisic, I didn't think he'd done too much wrong. But again, Napoli was heating up, and they get the ball into the mixer again. It's a very good save for McGregor. You think, right, we've well and truly got away with that. But then it's a corner kick. I mean, I don't know how else to break this down. I think I've spoke about 77 corners that we've conceded in the last couple months, and it's probably the worst one if I'm honest. It really is the worst one because it's a ball that's driven in the 6-yard box. It drops at the penalty spot. We do not get a header on it. Lundstrom just gets beat far too easily. And the header, right? It's good that he directs it in that. But look at where the ball bounces, people. This is what feels like I'm driving crazy. And I know I'm an idiot fan and everything like that. I'm not one of these football experts and oh, look at this. Oh, cool, look at my laptop and everything like that. But nobody can ever convince me that if you sit someone on that post, you are conceding at least 50% of the set-piece goals that we've scored this season. Maybe even more, people. And anyone who want to say, oh, a guy in the post isn't stopping that. The line's here. The bar's here, the ball bounces here. Yilmaz would have headed that, off the line. You know what I mean? Anybody there stops that for being 3-0, but, expected goals and all those cool wee stats that's made up to get people jobs in football these days. Tell them they shouldn't have put people on the post. It only worked for 100 years. What do we know, people? The computers tell us what to do in the stats and statistics because it's no players that go out there and play football. But it's another goal that's easily avoidable. It's another set piece goal and it's just our thing. And it could have been 4 as they missed another sitter, as Simeone should have made it 4 and not only make them one of the highest teams to ever play in the Champions League group stages, but make us the worst team in the Champions League. So we'll go that well and truly lucky right there. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I think there was a late Cholak header where he was at the back post and everything like that, and then he tried to flick it on to goal, but the game's done at that point, and it's just frustrating that we continue to put ourselves and beat ourselves on so many levels. And that's where I really take these. We are beating ourselves because we aren't fit enough. So the work's not been done for the manager and the coach to start whoever the fitness guy is. Come outside because I need to talk to you, because what you have done to this Rangers team is simply a disgrace, and the training methods that we've put in place is honestly shocking. Remember when we used to be a high pressing, high intensity side that could run a team off the park? Remember when we played back-to-back 120 minutes and knocked Celtic out the cup? See if we were ever even close to asked to do that. I think we'd be about 7-0 down at half-time in that game. If we take this team now, where we are fitness-wise, and drop them into that double header, we are getting absolutely battered for posts, and we're getting nowhere near 120 minutes. The squad is a shell of itself, a real shell of itself. Physically, I think mentally, what we've told these players and said to these players and made all these excuses up has really ruined them as well at this level, because they just look defeated. And I honestly still believe that the players and management, something needs to be done there, because I don't care what's said in press conferences, there is something no going on now, and I think there is a change that is still needed. But again, I'm sure that'll be decided with the game versus Aberdeen. No, really the free hit of Napoli. But I just think when you play for Rangers, is there really a free hit? Can we just start going into games expecting to get pumped and embarrassed and play poorly? I don't think it's the right mindset, people. Again, I'm a naive fan that always thinks my team can win a game, but I just want them to go in thinking they can win. It doesn't matter what I think. I want them to believe that if they work their arse off, they can get a result, and I'm just not seeing it anymore, and that's where my real frustration is, people. So aye, that's all I'm going to say about the game. I've kind of voiced my opinion. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm just disappointed once again in this Rangers team and how we approach and go about our business. Some people might make excuses and say, oh, we've done well for certain periods, but anyone who watched the game, Napoli well and truly took the foot off the gas until we had that golden opportunity that was spawned by Morelos, and then after that they turned the gas back on, brought on a couple of players and put us away. So aye, that's my overall thoughts. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the old comment section below, and as always, I've been Sage over 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.